Hi everyone, I hope you're having a wonderful day today. And on a different note, or on a very spontaneous note, we're going to be posting another video, which you'll be seeing right now. And it's going to be a small series that I'm going to be doing over a span of time, and it's going to be a Pokemon X Nuzlocke. I am still working on the other video that I've been meaning to work on, which is kind of funny because obviously you're not seeing that and you're like, damn, that's probably never going to come out, is it? But we're extending the due date. It'll come sooner or later, but probably not anytime. Hopefully this week. But here we are today on Pokemon X. And it's actually been quite a while since I've played Pokemon X, and it's my first Nuzlocke, so it's going to be quite a struggle. And I'm hoping I don't wipe, because that would be honestly pretty embarrassing on one of the easiest Pokemon games of all time. And, I mean, there's no specific topic for today, but actually, at the same time, there is, or a little bit of brainstorming about what I've been doing a little bit of research on. And what I've been doing research on is a little bit of a attachment theory. This is one of the most basic, or I would consider one of the basics for myself, subjects of human interaction. And it all goes back to the way of I misspelled the username. No, I misspelled my username. I mean my name. Let's go back and fix it. But attachment theory goes back to the way that we interact with other people, and this interaction affects all circumstances of our lives, despite how we look at it, from friendships to romantic relationships to just interaction with oneself. And a little bit on that, it's we hardly even talk about this. I mean, we know that, we have experiences in life and other shit happens and we act upon what we consider our own rational, logical self. But at the same time, you're affected by forces, pretty much phantoms from your past, that you're unable to contemplate because you're never aware. And awareness is a giant thing. And I think it's something that I've struggled with throughout my life. And even now to this day, I'm far from competent in my perceptions of attachment theory. And, well, we'll be talking about that today. Let's get back in the Wii U era. And I know this is one of the, oh, that's from the other game. Let's see what's on TV. Oh, let's see. Shinobu looked in the mirror. I already have an idea of the starter I'm going to choose, but I'm still thinking about the nickname. And it'll be kind of, I'm hoping we don't fumble this. I always like the house design for sure you slept all rested well. It's about time you got going. Why don't you step out and say hello to the neighbors? Out of all the Pokemon house designs, you gotta admit, look at this. The first bedroom for your parent in any Pokemon game, if my memory is correct. Look at this. Look at this living room. Look at the kitchen. And oh. Alright, let's get going. There's no other game where we can talk about attachment theory in the game that gives you the most companions. Oh shit. That is not good. Emulator buff. And we are back. I'm not running this on an emulator for Nintendo reasons. But this is probably one of the best games to actually talk about this topic. Holy shit. Not considering it. That was not planned to even think about, but I guess it is right. And this is one of the smallest features. Remember, oh, it doesn't do anything yet. But I remember my first time actually coming here and thinking that was fucking awesome, which still is. But it's not really that big a deal now that we have modern games and you can. I mean, it is running on a 3DS, so here we have the biggest line. Science is amazing. You can communicate with players. You can look all over the world for players who are playing at the same time as you, and you can play together. And let's go back. And there we go. Route 1. The smallest Route 1 of all time. I don't know if this... Don't correct me. I'm probably wrong. Shinobu! Over here. Don't have a seat. I know people are like, man, this is the longest introduction in any Pokemon game. But like, you were here in 2013, and you're just getting back from the GameStop, and you're like, shit, this game was mind blowing during its initial release, and I remember this was the game I was most hyped for during the time. I think I was either 6th grade or 5th grade, and that probably estimates my age when this game came out. And my mind was absolutely blown with the 3DSness. The 3D, not the 3DSness, because that's its own thing. But the 3D Pokemon designs were fucking amazing. They were mind blowing. My Ooga Booga brain was just fucking blown away. And then Oras was pretty good too. But then you started getting other things. You started getting Sun and Moon when it started finally like being a little bit more worn out. And that's where I was like, yeah, you know what? Now you kind of want to go back to the sprites, and maybe I was just getting older or something like that. But let's think of a nickname. What can I call you? My Finnegan. I do want to keep it a break sing, so we're gonna go with the sussy username, the susser nickname. I mean, I keep saying username. I don't know why, but yes. Let's go. We go good together. The two of us are just way too cute. Good. Good to meet you, Froakie. My name's Caleb. Because of you, I can be a real Pokemon trainer. Thanks. Nah, we're not doing the voices. Oh, maybe we will. We'll figure it out as we go. But returning back to the topic I was talking about a little earlier, is yesterday I watched What Is Love from 2007. It has Matthew Lillard and its amazing performance. And pretty much the film is all about it's a bunch of adults. And I say that from a from an adult too, but it's a bunch of adults talking about issues of intimacy in relationships. And it's of course it's not only humanistic relationships but sexual relationships with others. And the film does a very good thing where I would personally, if I become professor talking about relationship theory and behavioral theory, emotional theory, especially on relationships, becoming a relationship therapist, it brings up a lot of very interesting points, especially because it gives you a perspective and a sense of awareness that you obviously you don't get that often. I mean, you talk about it a lot. We talk about, I know with my friends, I talk about relationships a lot, and from someone who's never been in a serious committed relationship, it's really, well, it's really something else. You can talk about relationships a lot, but without having, true knowledge on the subject. Our perceptions about relationships and such come from an area of mystery. I know they use one character in the film to sort of portray, the idealistic form of love, where we have a married person, we have a person who's a player, we have a person who idealizes love as the romantic sense, where it's like the idealistic romantic sense, not the romantic sense, because romanticism is another subject. But we get these characters in the situations where we talk about a little bit about what I would consider a big subject of today's society is immaturity. And this is something that I suffer with. Like I've just mentioned before, I've never been in a committed relationship. So I have no idea how to act in a committed relationship. And I can sit around and blame myself for not being in a relationship, but the truth is, although I'm at fault to an extent of it, it was beyond my control. And there are things in my life that I'm capable of controlling, but there are also things in my history, in my personal history, that I'm obviously incapable of changing. The way I was raised was a little bit, I wouldn't say it's far from different, but there were times in my life where I struggled to find intimacy, and I still do. And attachment styles, as they are, help us figure out how we learn to interact, bringing this back full circle, with other human beings. And this affects not only in early child life, and I'm going to go a little bit into attachment styles. So there are 3 major attachment styles. The fourth one is a little bit considered by, it's not observed that often. But the major 3, of course, we have the anxious attachment style, which I consider myself part of, and I'm trying to. We'll talk about it a little bit. And we have avoidant attachment style, and we have secure attachment style. These are the 3 major attachment styles. Secure, of course, is the kind of attachment style you want as a human being if you want to interact with others, because you're secure. Anxious attachment style is a little bit, I think in the early research, it's where the children, their parents, there's an experiment where there's an observer, there's a parent, and there's a child in a room, and you can think back towards preschool. And I asked my coworker the other day, I'm like, how did you react when you first entered preschool? And I still remember this vividly. I remember crying for my mom. And you don't think of it much, growing up, but that's an important moment in our lives, being separated from our parents. And our reactions to being left alone. Being in a situation or an environment where you're all alone really does affect you. Because humans, interestingly, are one of the only species, or I will say the species, that has the longest time from adolescence to adulthood. It's a child is defenseless from ages 0 to about 10 years old, to 12 years old. I would up the limit. Absolutely defenseless. You leave a child in the wood alone, most likely if not, the child will die. Other animals are born, deer are born with instinctual behaviors. But humans are taught most behaviors. To adapt, to learn, to speak, to walk, to talk, to eat your food, to all this. The human child cannot be left alone. And I just read that pop up. I was a little confused there. The human child cannot be left alone. But as we grow into adulthood, this doesn't count. I think because it's an impossible catch, it probably doesn't count because I don't have the Pokeball yet. But it's something that humans only have. Yet we don't recognize it. We are part of our environment. We are inseparable from our environment and our interactions with other people. So, when I'll be speaking from personal experience in this situation, because I want to try to learn from myself too, and I'm using this platform as the way to talk about how I feel, which is crazy because it's online, and most people don't like talking about their emotions online. But I truly believe I'm an anxious attachment style. I get nervous if I don't get, validation, and this comes from a lack of personal ego, where I externalize my inner fears outside instead of reflecting inside. And this affects every circumstance of your life. I would say up to last year, I was worse than I was in my anxiety revolving around how I felt I was being perceived. but I've started to adapt myself into this new want or need for a different lifestyle where it's I think studying psychology really helped sort of bring down the tones of myself and to sort of understand where I was coming from. Because if you want to grow out of something, I think awareness is the first thing. And the reason I was, watching that film was because, I still struggle with these ideas of intimacy. I've never been in a relationship, and if I were in a relationship, I would have no idea how to act. And that makes me feel very immature. And I'm like, yeah, how do I behave when you're in a relationship? What's necessary? What's demanded? And we're about to encounter our first. Okay, pause in that. We're about to encounter. Oh, okay. We'll make do. We'll make do, Scatterbug. We'll make do. Scratch it. We'll hit one more time. We'll hit one more time. We'll hit one more time. And we'll catch it. And this is going to be our first Pokemon. Let's see what we're going to nickname our little Scatterbug. I think Scatterbug might be. I know I bitched in the beginning of the encounter, but I think Scatterbug is one of my favorite bug Pokemons. Starter bug Pokemons. Starter. I think you know what I mean. One of our introductory Pokemon starter bug. It has a word. I'm not too familiar with the word. Names. We'll call you Ren. Call you Ren. Ren, my child. Weird. Alright. I don't know the rules. Can I heal? Do I even have any? I have 2 potions. We'll do that. And we'll do that. I could have ran home, but I'm not gonna do it. Whoa, that's deep. but yeah, the attachment styles in our lives. Let's see. You're gonna want to battle when 2 trainers' eyes meet. Pokemon battle must. My goal is to at least make it to the end of the town. I do live with people, so it's probably the moment they arrive and they start making sounds, I'm gonna stop recording and then save the rest of the video for another day. Oh shit! If that thing hits a crit on the first hit, I still need to switch the rules to set. Okay, Fennekin, Astolfo, tank a hit. Six, alright. I'm like fucking locked into a 6 gun. And I'm like, yo, no, fuck. But, actually, I love, look at that animation. It's such a sweet animation. Oh, I gotta get tackled one time. What the what the flip? That was really damn close. Bro, I was about to end my run there. This video would have been so pointless. Gustavo, you crazy son of a bitch. We got red to level 3. You know what? Fuck the nut. I'm not sure about Nuzlocke rules, but we're gonna. No! Yes! Dairata. What the flip? Okay, you know what? We're gonna battle this. We're gonna battle this Scatterbug. I guess that gives us more time to talk. But yeah, growing out of these attachment styles is a little bit hard because we're so ingrained into them, and when we enter adulthood, it's almost impossible to leave them because they're so ingrained into our mentality. And sometimes people will provoke particular feelings in you, and they will cause a lot of anxiety. And this is not on them. It is, and it's also really, it's like half and half, where it's like not really you, but it is you. Because the problem I see with myself is I externalize my problems, and that causes my anxiety. Because the cycle of anxiety is you have a problem, but you can't fix it, and that's what causes anxiety. Because there's this unresolved internal need for comfort. And the more like you think about it, like yes, I can't. Let's think of a situation. Let's say you have an exam or you have a test that you had graded, and not graded yet, but you finished off recently, and you wanted it graded, but it's beyond your control. And what I feel as an anxiously attached person is that I feel no way. I was a I was about to be wiped. Oh fudge. We're going all the way back. What I feel as an anxiously attached person is, is a need for comfort, a need for security. But that's internal. Because anxiety is externalizing your struggles. And it's easy to say, today I'm gonna do A, fix my problems. I'm gonna stop being anxious, but it's not very simple. People say consult with therapy, and for some people therapy doesn't work. Because again, it's like you have a problem that you need to fix yourself internally. I would recommend therapy for anyone that actually needs it, but a lot of us don't really feel comfortable going to therapy for one reason or another. And going on with our lives, we need to try to find solutions out of not solutions, but finding a way where we can feel secure with ourselves. And what I've been doing lately is, spending a lot of time for myself. And I think as an anxiously attached person, that's what they sort of recommend is you take time to reflect with yourself and to really think about what you need. As an individual. Again, I always use the word individuals and I use words as people as two very different things. People interact with each other, and individuals are self. And in this case, I do prioritize individualism because it offers you a chance for what I possibly feel is moving on from this struggle of attachment styles is a mixture between independence, which is an internal tribute. If you're an anxiously attached person, I would say this is your internal need for connection. It's internal loneliness. And then we have the external one, which I would recommend for if you're. I haven't talked about it yet. I haven't talked about it a lot actually, but this is the idea for avoidant people, which is codependence, and this is like not fully like you absolutely need it, but relying on others to feel a little bit of it's like opening up and feeling a bit more comfortable. And I think with all of society, or not all of society, but with individuals, I'm not gonna. I really need to move Ren out of the leading party. He is not cooking shit. Ren. Ren, stay back. Stay in the back of the party. For now, we'll bring you out later when your time is right. It's time to leave city. Let's walk. Thank you, Shauna. Eskins. Oh, we still need to encounter our first Pokemon. This is like gambling, but Pokemon. Let's go. First encounter. Oh, shit. Ah. We gotta play by the rules. Games that play by rules. and we shall play by rules. I'm sticking to my word. And we're playing by the rules. But yeah, so bringing it back to the talk. Why this film? What is Love 2007? Why all this talk about attachment theory? And we're gonna bring it back to the subject where I was primarily talking about, but I went deep into attachment style, but immaturity. And what I feel with being anxiously attached is this sense of immaturity, where I'm constantly looking for reassurance to sort of, oh, did I not nickname my scatter? I think I did not nickname my scatterbug, but we will. His name will be Scatterbug, Scatterbug the Scatterbug. You see, we play big brain Nuzlocke rules right there. Scatterbug the Scatterbug. But Astolf was gonna hard carry this whole fucking game. I'm not gonna. I was about to say, haha, unless. But we're not gonna joke. Oh fuck! I probably fucked myself up there. What's over here? Because I know this is a hard copy of. Okay, let's battle this guy. Shauna, what are you? Shauna adventuring. Top 10 friends in Pokemon. Number 1, Shauna. Y'all haters gonna hate. Shauna's a real G. Anyways, yeah, I think one of the biggest things about being an anxiously attached person is you sense a great deal of immaturity, where you're not comfortable with yourself. You know this is a thing because you're always worrying about things beyond your control. Bringing back attachment style. What you want to do, what is propagated in child development, is you want to help children learn to be comfortable with themselves, to understand, to have this sense of home, and to have the freedom in themselves have the not freedom, to have the confidence in themselves to go out and explore the world. And when you lack, the proper attachment styles, which sometimes it's not really possible, depending on your home circumstances, it really stops you from having that want, or having the strength to explore for yourself, to try out different things, to fuck up, to make mistakes, and to come back. And I will be concluding the video here because of other things going on. I'm gonna save after this and continue it on in just a little bit. But thank you for watching this short video. I'll be back in touch with everyone very soon. But thank you all for watching, and I hope I can finish the other video very soon. So we have Astolfo, we have Ren, and we have Scatterbug the Scatterbug. Anyways, thank you for watching, everyone. I'll catch you guys all later. Peace.